Став здоров, дівчини мальчихи, ви на каналі Помоги. Мы продолжаем Call of Juarez Gunslinger. Усаживайтесь поудобнее, делайте себе чай. Всем приятного просмотра. Погнали. Че, остановились мы здесь, где-то воюем.
That's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a
О,
wreck,
это пароход
really.
из первой
How'd a damn
части.
steamboat end up in the swamps? Yes, it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was in that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from on high. And those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among these men that were shooting at me,
Что произошло?
those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
It's you or me?
Саморода где-то рядом, где? Наверху где-то.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
Это я могу стать? Не могу.
Right about then, much to my relief, the
что?
vigilantes
как они-
finally arrived.
как они там
Their
оказались?
leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. Turned out that they had me.
Take him out! I'm sending you to hell!
The Daltons had played
Not
me
so
like a
tough after
fiddle.
all, is it?
Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll.
нигде не было.
They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be my
It
challenge.
was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean.
Well, yeah, but I was in a
Did you hear
fight.
about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Well, it was one
We're talking about the Titanic. You ask me, it's too blessed big.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
oh God,
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off, Mr. Green?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. It was time to settle this once and for all. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
Ты ничего не понимаешь, что прям двоих надо будет? Чего? Короче, надо правого целиться. А правый быстрее выхватывает оружие. На него и фокуситься лучше.
Got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day. And the tragic death of his two brothers.
Ну так вот, ясно?
My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told. It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me, until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch.
Так, поехали.
I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. Led by Butch Cassidy, they were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Динамита и патроны можно. Вот это я хотел.
Were you a part of that giant Pinkerton posse after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have slowed me down. Besides, I wanted Bryant all to myself. I'd heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. I figured the Wild Bunch would likely hit such a treasure, and by God, I figured right. They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop. Well, I assumed the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
Не может же это быть просто так, я тоже так подумал.
I found the device they used to blow the tracks, so I knew I was headed in the right direction.
My ears are still ringing from blowing up that bridge.
What'd you say?
Well, I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them. From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route. But first, I would need to get my ass out of there. I jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados. Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
Well, what about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall. There were no passengers aboard that day. As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. But I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could.
You just
At times it was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery. The only difference is these damn ducks shot back.
Я вижу. Так а куда дальше?
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a hand.
Like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about. Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
Help? From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the Wild Bunch all by my lonesome, as usual.
Who the hell is that? He's out of his mind!
Почему мне не дают... Извините, а почему мне не дают X2? А, ну, концентрация.
Cover! Retreat! Retreat!
Ну, тоже неплохо.
He's killing everybody! Hell's a kill us all!
Где-то рядом, говорит. Может, внутри? Да, внутри где-то.
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did
Что
they?
тут у нас на... Ну, такое. Динамит. Ну, такое тоже.
Only a few stragglers were left. I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on old Bob's trail.
If you want to live!
Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nosed Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang. Right after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that.
Быстро говоришь.
On that very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America. They ended up living down there for many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that.
Нормально я там с этими, с концентрацией нафигарил, да? Пойдет. Час 30 до ада. Ехали.
I tried to find
Ну,
Bob
опять
Bryant,
хорошо.
but it was as if he'd disappeared.
Так. А у меня как минимум есть. Не. Дробовик. Серебряный дробовик. Не хочу.
Sometime later, I heard the Wild Bunch was back together. Kid Curry escaped from jail, and now he was running the whole shebang. So I took to their trail, as I was still in pursuit of my brother's killer and hoped that he was back with him.
Револьвер с деревянной ручкой, где он лежал? Ладно. А, с костяной, я понял. Мне показалось, что где-то лежит.
That Kid Curry's kinda crazy, ain't he? Don't let him hear you saying that.
Anyways, I tracked those boys to a camp right outside Parachute, Colorado. Being outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot. I just started taking those bastards down. Old Bob wasn't among them, and neither was Kid Curry. I could sense him close by, however, plotting something nasty. I just needed a clue as to their whereabouts.
Ой, тут можно заряжать быстренько, отлично. Улики.
And I found one. A map with their bold plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle. Property of the Union Pacific. The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the weakest wooden supports.
И что, мне надо обезвредить или что? Мешайте
Kid
банде
Curry was
взорвать вас.
considered the wildest of the wild bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children, though some say it was only 5. Kid Curry had bragged to a whore how he was gonna rob a train heading to the U.S. Mint in Denver. And that whore, Fat Sally, she told me. The bridge was rigged with dynamite, so I decided I'd best be careful confronting those bastards. And I made it a point to remove any dynamite that I came across. A moment later, I saw a ladder that somehow had escaped my attention.
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
But the Wild Bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head off. It appeared the kid had found a number of new recruits to bolster their ranks. Guess there's always desperate men willing to trade their lives for stolen treasure.
What happened next?
Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite, I decided I might as well remove the other one. Once that was done, I figured I'd find my way from there.
Somebody really pissed this soul off. You ain't seen the last with me. I'm gonna blow your damn head off.
А ну-ка расскажи-ка мне, что ты там не сделал, Шану.
Ready for a marathon shot?
So, what happened then?
Had to remove more of that damn dynamite.
It must have been terrifying trying to make your way across.
I was sweating it a bit, but then I noticed a footbridge tied up on high, so I shot the rope.
So that was all the dynamite?
Funny you should mention that, darling. As actually, there was a fourth charge impeding my progress. Once I removed it, my path was pretty clear.
А, вот куда-то целится.
proceeded onward. I realized that that way just wasn't gonna work. I needed an alternate path forward.
Так, отлично. Что у меня по улучшениям? Ваша скорость прицеливания из любого оружия увеличится на 30%. И вот, смотри, больше концентрации в голову. Автонаводка на динамит. Так как-то оно и так взрывается, не знаю. Все, я понял. Ну, поехали. Где-то рядом, говорит. Прикол. Тихо, тихо. Я не просил показывать мне. Ну, а дальше куда? Так, ну это лестница, это что еще? Ну это лестница, ну она вернет меня обратно. А толку? Тут я уже прошел. Это как раз тоже меня вернет обратно.
Of course, I had to tread carefully. Otherwise, I could, well, die.
Класс. Шапку забрал? Забрал. Вот куда, да? А чё я не улучшил?
Luckily, I found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I saw something that concerned me. It was a long burning fuse, and it was moving fast as hell. I had to catch it.
И ладно, что я забрал этот прикол.
The burning fuse was so damn quick, I had to run like the wind. I almost had it, but no. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those sparks.
И что делать? Там же тупик.
Get off the bridge!
Вот. Вообще не очевидно.
Get off the bridge!
I knew that failure meant boom. Then, finally, at the last moment.
Ну, забирай ее. Ну.
Whew. Of course, I was successful, or clearly I wouldn't be talking to you folks here today. Naturally, I removed the last dynamite charge. Well, it was a touching reunion. But by this time, I was thoroughly exhausted and dragging my ass as I was not a young man anymore.
Kill that SOB! Get him, boy! Send him to perdition!
Finally, I found those boys. Or more precisely, they found me.
Hey, Fraser! Kid Curry asked me! Nuttier than a damn precinct! Get around it! nothing but a coward.
Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Kid Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling gun. It was hidden in this tunnel and pretty well shielded.
Так Гатлингом же там управлять, по сути, неудобно.
Luckily, I located some dynamite. I still, however, had my work cut out for me.
Guess you had enough, huh? Yeah! You know who I am? You can't beat me! Show yourself, you coward!
Понятно.
This is the last mistake you'll ever make! Time for you to lay down and die! Are you kidding me? I'm gonna need some help here! Come on, boys! Take this sumbitch out! Get out of here! It's not fair! You can't beat me! Shit! Flank this cocksucker! Move it, boy! You know who I am! What are you? Yellow? I'm still sticking. Damn!
Got you like a fish.
Beast fat
You're gonna
bastard!
bleed.
Give me a hand here, goddammit!
Eventually, I brought that tunnel down. And that's when I met Kid Curry himself. He had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me personally.
Чё, опять бой, давай. Да хватит танцевать, постой на месте.
As fast as he was, I was just a bit faster.
Он не попал, почему-то, случайно не попал.
And as he lay wounded, I demanded to know the whereabouts of Roscoe Bob Bryant. He shouted at me. Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch's Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him.
Не в ту сторону.
He shouted at me. Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch's Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him.
Все?
Those were his last words.
Блин, да ты перевалил больше всех. Слушай, чувак. Ты только меня народу завалил, так ты вообще серийный маньяк-убийца.
So, Bob Bryant got away?
I knew I'd never find him in South America.
What about the other killer?
Yeah, you kind of glossed over that one.
Well, I found Jim not long after my showdown with Ringo. At the time, he was riding with the James Younger gang. Did I neglect to mention that?
Jesse James? The greatest outlaw who ever lived?
Jesse and his kin rode with Quantrill when he raided Lawrence, Kansas, and killed near 200 people, boy.
Ah, nothing great about that.
And from there, him and his brother went on to rob banks and trains from Kansas to Missouri.
Which is why there was such a rich bounty on their heads. 40 grand for both of them, dead or alive. That's one hell of a payday.
Погнали.
I confronted them as they were robbing a train. Bullets were flying at me from every which way.
Так, у меня уровень, я до сих пор не могу его прокачать. Чё, быстрая прицель, концентрация до голову. Давай, это я буду, да, это хорошо.
But I knew I'd have to fight my way forward if I was gonna find this shield.
Я видел. Блин, как же мне нравится, когда этот звонок на секрет.
Now wait a second. Now, how'd they stop this train in the first place?
Well, the James boys were experts at this. They hopped a freight train, having heard there was a big payroll in the express safe. So, they hopped the same train. The James Younger gang was decimated after that little fiasco they had in Northfield, Minnesota. So Jesse needed more men and took on the killer I was after, along with a host of others.
Куда ты? Почему ты умер? Я же просто спрыгнул.
The James Younger gang was decimated after that little fiasco they had in Northfield, Minnesota. So Jesse needed more men and took on the killer I was after, along with a host of others.
Ну да.
I was hoping to find my man and put a bullet in his head. Climbing around that train, I must have swallowed 100 damn bugs before I reached
James
that.
Younger gang pulled the first train robbery west of Mississippi.
Sounds like you hold them in high regard.
Everyone knows they were the most famous outlaw gang ever.
And you took them all on by your lonesome. Again. I'm finding this all a little hard to swallow, friend.
Well, maybe you need to wash it down with some whiskey. By the way, did I mention that that train was flying down those tracks like a bat out of hell? Anyway, excuse me, where would I find the gentleman's facilities? Suddenly I have an urgent need to drain my one-eyed snake. Well, I've had more than a few drinks, and I've been sitting here for quite a spell.
Right through there. Let me show you.
Что происходит? Что так медленно?
I never heard so much malarkey in my life.
You think he's bullshitting us?
You don't think he's Silas Greaves?
I think he's just some old drunk looking for some free liquor.
I don't know, Jack. I think I believe him. You don't think he met Jesse James?
Boy, you gotta be kidding me. That story makes no sense at all.
Jack.
I mean, you gotta be 2 bricks short of a load to believe that cock and bull story.
I don't agree.
Jack, lay off the
You
bar.
seriously think that tired old man went toe-to-toe with Jesse James?
Well, that's better. Did I mention that this Jim was married to the infamous Belle Star? Of course, I didn't learn that until later. Anyway, I made my way forward as best I could. Around the sides, over the roof. At some point, some bitch saw me and shouted out, "It's the damn Pinkertons!"
Damn Pinkerton!
Now, I never worked for that line. But I guess they assumed I was one of his
Я вообще
assassins.
не ожидал там.
You won't get away with this!
You don't want to mess with us! Kill that missing!
Куда тебя несет постоянно?
It was definitely safer on the inside of the train.
You can't fight James, gang! What the heck just happened?
You don't want to mess with us! Those evil bastards firebombed Jesse's mother's house and killed his stepbrother. It was no wonder each and every asshole on that train wanted me dead.
Everybody's always mistaking you for somebody else, aren't they? Why is that, I wonder?
Don't rightly know, Jack. I'm just telling you how I remember it.
I bet you are.
I think we're in trouble!
Странно, странно, очень странно. Я нажимал вправо, он что-то влево увернулся.
Get out here!
Kill that missing! Shoot that stupid son of a bitch! I came across a flat car piled high with logs and had to come up with a creative way to make my way forward. I wondered if I was ever going to find the front of that train, or the bastard I was after. Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
Yes, I did. Now, I don't remember how I took it out. It was either a bullet or dynamite.
Where would you find dynamite?
Does it really matter, Jack? You're messing with the flow of the story here. Son of a bitch stupid enough to get in my way. And That included Jesse James himself.
Sorry, son of a bitch!
Жестко, конечно. Так, давайте мы с Джесси Джеймс увидимся в следующем выпуске, поэтому ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь на канал, пишите свои комментарии, делитесь этим видео с друзьями. Всем до скорой встречи, всем пока.